topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
Well, amazingly enough, Steve O was just here with us and just talking on TikTok about things, and he went away. Speaking of that weather, but what we're going to do is we're going to continue the show, and hopefully he joins us back. Now today, right here on Ask the Experts, I said that wrong. Ask the Expert. I have a there you are. Hey,
that's never happened.
I was just opening the show for you.
Off.
It's okay. I was opening the show for you.
I don't see Joy.
I didn't get to introduce her yet, so you can take over.
Oh, you know, I'm so listen. This is a live show, and these are the problems you have with a live show. I actually got kicked off. We use StreamYard, and it just said there was a problem with StreamYard. But hey, we're back here. We have got a great show today. We're going to be talking about this is hurricane season, so you know what that means. It is getting close. And actually, there's actually brewing out there on the western part of the United States. Let me tell you, this is a blessing to find this company. They are probably in Florida. Let me introduce you. Hi, Joy.
Hi, how are you today? How's everything?
Okay, now what?
Can you hear me?
I can. Steve, your internet is acting a little wonky, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barely.
It does break up.
And while Steve tries to get that internet back going, hi, Joy, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great today. Thank you. Hope everything's good with you.
That little tropical storm is on its way over this way.
Yes,
So
it is. Well, it's actually, I believe, on its way out towards the west, like Louisiana, Alabama, Texas.
I'm in Louisiana.
Oh,
Steve's in
okay. No wonder, that makes sense.
So it's coming this way. And then we have a little bit of wind right now. And everybody has been told to pick up anything that could turn into a projectile missile.
Yes.
So,
Good. Definitely advisable.
Exactly. What kind of advice do you have for people during this time?
I think it's very important to check your insurance policies just in case. Now, this particular storm may not be a very devastating
Rebel,
storm.
can you hear me?
But
all right, Joy. Yes, Steve, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you.
I don't think he can hear us.
No.
So,
I can hear you.
Steve Strange. Oh, you can hear us? We can hear you.
Yes.
Joy is telling us about
We hear
what
you.
to predict.
I was just saying, in terms of how you could prepare yourself right now, definitely take the advice that was given about picking up anything that could be loose outdoors that is, not
inside, let's say, a garage or something like that. But definitely it's an important time to review your insurance policy. The insurance policy is going to tell you what coverages you have or don't have in the case of a very big windstorm or a hurricane event. There's also important information on there, such as the deductible. The deductible would be basically what the homeowner's insurance company would keep as far as the overall recovery. So, for example, let's say that you have just as a hypothetical, a $1,000 deductible on a $10,000 loss. They would keep the 1,000, and then the rest of the 9,000 is yours. When it comes to hurricanes, it's a much larger number. It's actually usually about 2, 3, or 5% of your insurance policy total amount. So it's very important to keep an eye on that and know what kind of coverages you have so that you know what to expect if a storm hits.
Hey, Joy, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Listen, we're getting so many questions, and it's one of my first questions. A lot of people don't know what a public insurance adjuster is.
Right.
Please explain that.
A public adjuster is an adjuster that's dedicated just to advocate for homeowners or property owners. So if you are the owner of a home or a commercial property, in some cases, there's other personal properties such as cars, planes, boats. But I specialize in commercial and residential. So basically, a public adjuster, what we do is that we advocate and we show up for the homeowner. So if you have an insurance inspection coming up with the insurance company is going to send you their adjuster, and they in turn represent the insurance. So if you want someone representing you as well at the insurance appointment, the insurance inspection, well, that is where you could rely on a public adjuster. And what do we do at the inspection? Well, we actually go and we point out the damages that may or may not be that obvious to the homeowner. To the insurance company. So for example, if they were to come out to the property and they were just to see damages on the roof, okay, they will document that. But we want to make sure, as your public adjuster, that any other damages, such as interior damages, damages in your attic, damages that we feel have been found behind walls or that might affect a certain additional areas. If the insurance company is not being pointed out to go see those damages and document it, it's a very high likely chance that they won't include that in their estimate, or they won't include that in their list of damages. They don't offer it up, if you understand what I mean. So if they were to say, okay, well, let's check the interior and we'll make sure that, but the unfortunate part is that they don't, for the most part, in many cases that we see. One of the first things that we actually see if we ask a homeowner to let us see their estimate is a great portion of the scope that we feel should be included in the claim completely out of their scope of estimate and their payment. So it's not that I'm just trying to say that they're all bad. It's just that they don't go to what's not obvious. They're not going to find it for you and offer that information for you. So that's why it's really important, unless you yourself as a homeowner has done really good documentation, photos, maybe even have hired a contractor to see the interior and give some type of an estimation and show all the damages that is usually a little bit more helpful of a way to approach it. But it's very important to have somebody representing you if you want to receive all the money that you're supposed to receive for you to continue with your repairs.
This is from TikTok. This is from Michael J. When we do TikTok, they have some strange handles on there. It's not like YouTube. But hey, I'm so glad I found this show. I've just moved from New York to South Florida. I am very concerned about hurricanes since I've never really been in one. I want to know, first of all, am I protected on my homeowner's policy for hurricane damage? And second of all, how do I prepare for this?
Okay, so first of all, I hear you very, very clear, Michael. I moved from New Jersey at one point down to Florida myself, and I was scared when the first hurricane hit. Definitely, it is really important to review your insurance policy. I would be more than glad if you wanted to send it over, send it my way. I can give you a basic overview of what your policy includes. Now, if you have a standard coverage that includes hurricane coverage, then yes, there's a very likely chance that you're covered for hurricane damages. But just know that there's a lot of fine print and there's sections within the policy that could affect or even change how much you actually receive in the claim, depending on what coverages they've actually given you. There's a number of different agent or companies, insurance companies here in the state of Florida. Some of them are a lot stricter, let's say, that we know, than others. Some have a form of making payments that we feel are just really, very, very, let's just say that we're constantly in an uphill battle. Another important factor for you to know is that if you have a homeowner's insurance policy, that doesn't mean flood coverage. As a matter of fact, if you look through the first couple pages, you'll find in huge black print letters that is not a flood policy. But if you purchased a separate flood policy, that would be great too, because that will cover you for flood separately on a separate policy. And again, looking at those policies, it would be very important. I would love to take a look so that I could tell you if you have personal property covered in there, if you have coverages in case you have to go stay at a hotel or something, just in case you suffer a very catastrophic loss to your home. So that would be very crucial to take a look at. That way you do know if you're protected. And if you want to know what to do in lieu of a hurricane, you definitely want to make sure that you secure your property as well as possible. If you have shutters, if you have anything in backyards, anything like that, you want to make sure that all those items are collected, put in a garage or put in a place that's indoors. Otherwise, yes, those things can go flying and you could lose that property.
We have got several community association law firms around Texas and Florida who are experts on our show. So I'm not surprised to get a question like this. Do you make presentations to community associations? I am the vice president of a very large association in Boca Raton. Do you make presentations about what you can do and what we should be aware of, especially with leaking roofs and flooding?
Absolutely. I have done presentations such as those. Actually, we were involved in a lot of presentations for mobile home properties. We had a property manager that we were helping with that, which those are unfortunately one of the first types of property and structure that will get quickly affected because they're so, they're relatively small. They don't have as much structure to them as a bigger home. But absolutely, when it comes to big commercial properties or big residential areas such as yours, we would be more than glad to come in as a team and do a presentation on whatever items. You can consult us in advance and tell us what kind of presentation you want, and we can put together a really great team presentation for you and definitely let you know what you and your community can do, who are the best contacts to reach, and so on and so forth. We'd love to do that.
Joy, I got to tell you, because I've been through this, living in Dallas, Texas, we got all types of tornadoes there. And I had some damage. I've told the story on our show before. I had the insurance company offered me $30,000. Of course, dummy me was trying to handle it myself until a friend said, why don't you get a public adjuster? And I understand all claims are different. I finally got a public adjuster, and that public adjuster got me $135,000. Now, I'm not saying every claim is going to be like that, but I want you to know how important it is. Folks, don't try to handle this yourself. Not when you have, companies out there like Exclusive, and you've got Joy there. And, I got to tell you, Joy, we haven't been hit here on the southeast side of Florida.
Yeah.
Southwest has, but I have this feeling from everything I'm reading, we might be due for a hurricane this year.
Well, first of all, you said dummy you before, and take those words back, because no one that attempts to do their own claim is a dummy. It's just something that you say naturally. Yeah, let me pick up the phone and let me call my insurance company. But knowing what you know now, and the reason for this show, at least with me, is what we want is to promote the awareness that public adjusters exist to help you. And we don't charge you anything up front. You have nothing to lose when you start the process. You're getting advocates that, unfortunately, we may never get paid, but that doesn't take away our drive or our passion for defending you and making a case for you. Believe it or not, we've had so many claims where we have no idea. Why? Because our contracts are contingent on if you get paid. So we only get paid if you get paid. That's a big factor and topic that people need to be aware of. So if you're afraid to hire a public adjuster because you have no idea what they're going to cost you, first of all, it is an agreed upon in advance percentage. And second of all, part of that percentage, depending on what time of the year it is, for specifically hurricanes, for example, is capped at 10%. 10% is the maximum that a public adjuster can ask you of your insurance claim if it is a state of emergency or hurricane loss for the first year. Okay, so that is important to know, because you don't have to worry about picking up the phone and calling a public adjuster. They're going to guide you through the best and possible scenarios. They will document the case for you. That's what we do. So if you ever wanted to pick up the phone and contact my company, for example, for asking some questions, even the questions are free. We can help you so that you could determine what path to take. It's not an obligation, but you will feel so much better when you have a good team on your side that is helping you go through that process, walk you through. We'll meet the insurance company out there. We'll put together the estimates. We'll know the strategies of what to do next when this letter comes in asking for this and this information, or telling you that, hey, there's a delay in the claim because of this, or now we want to get an engineer. These are things that, as a homeowner, not knowing, this is already in and of itself, it's a lot to undertake. It's a stressful process. And if you don't know the best outcome, you might stand in the way of your own claim unknowingly. You might only recover a very small amount versus us being able to understand, hey, for whatever reason, they didn't include this. We're going to go and keep fighting for the rest of the money that correlates to this portion that they've left out. When you look at your estimate, you may not even know that those things are missing, because they're very complicated documents to read if you don't know what you're looking for. So I encourage that anybody that has any of these questions or is curious to know what steps to take if they have a loss, we even do pre-hurricane inspections, and they're free of charge. We would always analyze your property and any type of damage that you have, and let you know if based on what we see in the policy, if it's covered or if it's not covered. That's important. And in some cases, we can tell you that before you ever pick up the phone and file a claim. If we tell you, hey, look, this is not something that will be covered in this type of policy, you will know in advance whether you should or should not have opened that claim. Because otherwise, you may open a claim that is either improperly opened or might be missing some things for it to be properly, submitted. And then you work your way that way, knowing that it is a covered loss in advance, versus you just taking the chance and opening it up, and now you have another claim in there that it may be a straight denial. I'm not saying that there's no way that we can guarantee the result, but based on what we know and can read and can tell you, hey, look, based on your policy, this type of loss should be a covered loss. Now, if they deny you, then our position isn't going to change. Well, then they're doing something wrong or unfair, because per what we're reading, this is a covered loss. You get me? You have more weight to the claims that you're making.
Joy, I have got to say this. I hope I don't embarrass you. Last month's show, Joy's with us every month. We had, I am telling you, the largest public adjuster firm in the country. I know that because they're in every city and have probably most cities, the larger cities, they have an office in. They called up wanting to do a show like this. They heard Joy. Now, she's our exclusive public adjuster for Florida. But the gentleman said, and this doesn't happen, he said, I got to tell you, your expert on there is really doing a great job. She really knows her stuff. And I got to tell you, I've been doing this for 17 years. We get a lot of calls like that, people wanting to do a show when they hear one, but they're usually cutting down the expert. They don't brag on them. But Joy, that was to me the greatest compliment ever, because this company is so large and they just brag on you for about 10 minutes.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you very much for that information.
I don't want to embarrass you. And you know what? I want to tell people also, since I've been doing this for 17 years, I've watched public adjusters, and I got to tell you, most of them come and go. I don't know what it is. It's probably because they're not very good at what they do. Joy's company is going to be around for a long time. And I can tell she does so many extra things when it comes to educating people, like our show like this. And Joy, we so appreciate you. And I had to brag on you. I
really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. You didn't embarrass me. You made me blush a little bit.
And your partner does our Texas show too, probably our biggest areas, especially when it comes to hurricanes. But Joy, tell people how they can reach you.
Well, you can reach us through, we have a phone line, a general phone line, that's 800-593-9853. You could also find us on Facebook, on Instagram, if you wanted to take a look at our recent content and send us a message through there. Our username on Facebook is basically, it's just exclusive PIA. On Instagram, you're going to find us. Also same as for TikTok. On Instagram, it's going to be exclusive PIA FLTXNJ, because we're licensed in Florida, Texas, and New Jersey.
Well, I got to tell you, I want people to do something. I'm telling you, you're going to thank me for this. When it comes to damage, we're talking hurricanes, winds, and flooding, but, there's also smoke damage, there's fire damage, there's break-ins. I am telling you, we're going to give you out the phone number again. You want to write this down, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And you're going to go, why didn't I write that public adjuster's name down? Let's give them your phone number and website again.
Sure. 800-593-9853 is our main line. You could reach us through there. You can also reach our website. We'll also take you to us, but our website is www.exclusivepiaclaims.com. And as I said, you can find us on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Send us a message. And by all means, I am more than glad to review any policies. We could set up free inspections. Even if you're not in the states that we're licensed and you happen to be watching this and you have a real desire to find out some information in regards to your policy, what's covered, or any ways that we could possibly help to guide you, we'd be more than glad to do that. You know, we like to educate the public. That's what we're here for. So don't expect that we're going to hit you up for a charge either.
And Joy's with us every month. Oh my God, we're getting people writing in. How come the show is already over with? We probably had about 25 questions. We'll save those for next month. Joy, listen, I think something's going to happen. Be ready, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. There's already some wild weather out there happening in Florida, so definitely keep our info handy for sure.
You're the best, Joy.
You are. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Next month. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.